So Anna, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
How's your possible been so far?
It's a shock, the heat, not used to it. Burned myself a little bit, but it's been great. I mean, the conference is really, this year has been incredible. It was good last year, but this year really made a difference.
Good. So what have been some of the more important conversations you've been having regarding the out-of-home space here at Possible, and what is your mission to convey to the people you're talking to?
Well, I think for me, having been here last year and having now been in this industry almost 5 years, we keep doing better and better. I think the important conversations are all the conversations. Where we used to be a little bit of an afterthought, I really start feeling that out of home is a top part of the agenda, and there's a lot of questions being asked and a lot of interest in our medium. I just moderated table talks outside, lunches with marketers. We were asked some incredible questions about the medium, what we can do, innovation, digital, static, how they can do more out of home, how they buy it, the creativity that exists. It was just like very well informed and a lot of interest. So I think that that's big for us. Why are we here? Well, we're here for the same reason as everybody else, to figure out what's possible in marketing. We believe that our medium, which is the oldest form of advertising, but also a truly powerful platform for advertising, has a big role to play here. And we want to continue to spread the word and talk about how out-of-home connects into all the other parts of advertising that are here.
So what's the technology that you're really sort of focused on that's making digital out-of-home and out-of-home grow at such a rapid pace? Like there's a lot of vibrancy there, but what's the technology that you think is really driving it and will drive it into the future?
It's a few different things. First of all, it is the digital out-of-home screens, right? Whether it's a billboard or it's a vending machine or it's in a transit system. Signage technology is just so good now that you can do incredibly interesting, cool, creative things. Yeah, things like the sphere, you have anamorphic billboards. There's just like a really great signage opportunity, right? Like that brands can use to. We all know that video and great imagery is a powerful way to reach consumers. And where we've come as an industry now, you can see it right just behind us, right? Like there's a lot of cool things you can do. But I think even more importantly is the ability that this digital signage gives us to use data, leverage programmatic and automation and things that can push the medium out faster to the right person at the right time. But also, again, to be able to use data that marketers had or other triggers that informs what a message should be in a much more flexible way. We have a strong tie-in to CTV. There it's about like understanding what the consumer does after he left his home, but when he was served an impression on CTV or wherever he happened to be. We know where that consumer was, and we can amplify that message through our signage and through their consumer journey throughout the day. Marketers and other media companies can use data and collaborate with us to become much more powerful. Retail media, which is obviously the biggest thing right now and where a lot of the ad dollars are going, we are essentially retail media. We're right there where we can drive people into the store, we're in the store, and again, the ability for the retail media networks or marketers to leverage data and our signage, just amplify and make the message better and take it, again, throughout the day of the consumer's lives. It's just it's a cool thing.
So dig a little deeper quickly into the CTV space, because I think that's an interesting inflection point between digital out-of-home and off-platform. What exactly do you see the opportunity being there?
I think it is the consumers' media consumption behaviors have changed, right? Television advertising isn't what it used to be. Ads in that environment is different, but we're still serving consumers ads. They're still being served impressions and messaging on the video platforms. And the fact that you know where that happened, and then we know a lot about consumer behavior, what they do when they leave their house, where they go and what they do. You can leverage that data to continue to serve impressions or messaging that kind of builds a better, more conveying connection with the consumer. That's one piece. Out of home can also be video. We're not CTV, but we are a medium that can serve video in very powerful ways and make consumers engage. So that's the other piece of it. But it really is the connection and the data that you can use to amplify a message.
You do have a lot of data. How do you make sure that your profile is as privacy friendly as possible for consumers?
Well, you have to stick to the privacy laws, and we're following and monitoring that very carefully. We want to make sure that we are behaving in a way that is non-creepy and serve consumers well. So far, we have never been positioned to be as such. But out of home, end of the day, is a one-to-many medium. We're never targeting a specific individual. We're targeting a type or a location, which means that we are reaching the consumers we want to reach, and then some. And sometimes we convince them of the message too. But from a privacy perspective, because we're one-to-many, we're not really a privacy challenge medium.
Okay, so we're now officially in a presidential election cycle, which is going to be pretty contentious, and but there should be a lot of money spent. How is digital out of home, looking to capitalize on more dollars in this election cycle than they have probably in the past 2 or 3 election cycles?
I mean, the political spending out of home has continuously been growing over the past couple of elections, but I think this election in particular is important. The country has never been more polarized, I believe, than it is right now, and our platform reaches everybody. Rich, young, poor, English, non-English speaking, we can reach everyone. And that gives politicians and other advocacy groups the opportunity to convey messages that normally probably wouldn't be picked up by the consumer in a good way. So we can influence Americans in a way that nobody else can. We also have the opportunity, especially with digital out of home, to make sure that we show up in places where voter groups that may not go out to vote otherwise are. So the whole get out to vote, convincing groups or swaying people last minute is really what we do really well. So we're very bullish on political.
How are you going to guard against misinformation appearing on out-of-home signage?
Well, we're, like everybody else, careful in what we're conveying. You have to disclose who ran the campaign and who's behind it. And we want to make sure that our medium is seen as a brand safe and trusted source. We've been that for years. We collaborate with the FBI. We collaborate with the Ad Council. We collaborate with FEMA. We send out public messages that reaches audiences that are not just advertising. And that's an incredibly and powerful thing for our platform. So we will continue to be very careful and take care of that piece of our industry and make sure that we're very clear on what messages come out. I think we all have to be aware of, we live in an attention economy and we live in an influencer economy, and it's very easy to be swayed with messages that were intended for you that you probably didn't get. But again, we're short form. We are very good at conveying messages in the right place in the right location, and we're incredibly careful with what messages we convey and that they're clear.
So you referenced it a little bit earlier, but in terms of talking to people here, talking to clients and brands, what's the one misconception about digital out-of-home advertising that you really would like to get past at this point?
That is just for a spectacle. It's a platform that can serve an advertiser throughout a full campaign. It connects incredibly well with other media types, and it should be used for everything. It's a conversation starter, and it's a conversation keeper. It's not just a spectacle. It's not just a billboard you put on the exit where your CEO lives. It can do so much more for you. It's a true workhorse and a results deliver.
Okay, Anna Bagger is the CEO of the OAAA. Anna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.